Hey everyone, Wyduck welcoming you to a Game 2 from a best of 3 series from the WCS Season 2 Europe Edition. And in Group B action, we have here on Shir Vestige, spawning in the top left as the Blue Zerg, soon to be retired, very good player from France. Spawning as Blue Zerg, we have Team Evil Genius's Stephano. Good luck, have fun, Pedro. Pedro. Very cool from Stephano, making custom messages. And in the bottom right, his opponent and victor in Game 1, spawning as the Red Terran, representing Mouse Sports, we have Lucifron. Now, Lucifron did open up with a very standard and safe opener. Barracks first on the high ground. Stephano went for the hatchery and the spawning pool. Unfortunately, the game did go about 25 minutes, and unfortunately for Stephano, he wasn't able to pull through. He was just constantly being dropped with medevacs, and the medevacs just totally wreaked havoc on his units, his mineral line, and unfortunately, he wasn't really able to get back from that deficit. The medevacs were just totally unopposed. There were no Mutalisks, no Corruptors, no Hydralisks, and not that many Queens, and so Lucifron was just dropping left, right, and center. And eventually Stephano just succumbed to all that pressure. We'll have to see if Stephano's going to mix it up. Otherwise, he's going to lose this game. Now, this is very interesting. We do have a very fast drone scout. Taking a look at Lucifron's base. Now, it looks like it might be Reapers first again. Now, it's not as good as a previous map for Reapers, because you have to jump up 2 cliffs actually to get into the main. You have to jump up into the natural area and then up here, but it's not that bad because this area isn't really doesn't have a lot of vision generally, because your base is over here. So we do see Reapers on the way, so Reapers are going to be utilized by Lucifron again. And in the previous game, he was able to pick off 1 drone with 2 Reapers, so it wasn't really a game-turning play. So the Reaper is out and going to be darting across the map. Now, the spawning pool is going to finish, but remember, without the extractors, especially without that speed, Zerglings are not that good against Reapers. The early counter is going to be Queens. Now, we do have 2 Queens on the way, but the Reaper's already in Stephano's base, and this is going to be a problem for Stephano. Now, the Zerglings are out, and they're able to scare away that Reaper, at least temporarily. The Reaper is going to jump down into the natural area. And it looks like this drone is going to be under attack, but the Zerglings are recollecting themselves. They are poking away at that Reaper. 1 Zergling does go down, a second one does as well, so this Reaper is doing a very good job cutting back and forth. But now with the Queens out, the Reaper is going to have a very difficult time doing any more additional damage. And he might have a difficult time escaping, and no, the Reaper does go down, and that's not a very good trade for Lucifron. That's a good deal for Stephano, trading 100 resources for 50. And even though Reapers only cost 100, I mean, you don't want to lose it so early, because you can use them as a scout. 7-8 minutes in the game, see what kind of crucial tech structures are going up, because they're so fast. But here we go again. The Reaper is going to try to get up into the main, but the Reaper is going to retreat back just for a little. Now, the Queens are at the front of this natural as well, so it's going to be difficult for this Reaper to get back in there. So maybe Lucifron should hold back just a little bit. He does have double Hellions on the way, just like the previous game, and he's going for an early 3rd command center again. So the exact same strategy is being deployed in this game as the previous one. This drone is under attack, and it might go down. 1 more shot. No! Great control by Stephano, forming it into a Spore Crawler. And that drone will survive, and is actually going to form the 3rd hatchery. Okay, very interesting. Now, the Reaper does see it immediately, and is going to boost away on its jetpack. Now, Stephano does have the gas up. He hasn't started Zergling speed yet, so is he going for early lair? Lair and Zergling Speed cost the same amount of gas, so I'm not sure what he's saving the gas for currently. Now, Stephano's Overlord was able to see that third command center, and that's very important. At least Stephano knows in the next few moments there's probably not going to be a huge attack with like 10 or 12 Marines, because Lucifron's committed to that third command center. He's not going to have that many early attacking units. But I'm still kind of concerned here. Stephano still has a wide gaming hole. Oh my gosh, we got 4 Hellions running in here. All the Zerglings do get burned down right away. And this might spell the end of our French Zerg player. Now, great positioning by that Queen on that ramp. The Hellions cannot get in there, but still all the drones at the natural are exposed. So able to kill 5 drones. So that's still a very good move by Lucifron. It could have been a lot worse, so Stephano is still in this game. He has a small supply advantage, and remember, he does have his third hatchery up at that location now. But Lucifron does have that third orbital, and even though it's just in the main base, it can still drop down mules, so it is still providing additional resources, and can also produce SCVs. So don't think that is a useless third orbital at that main base. It is very useful. Now, I like the fact that there are creep tumors in the main base for Stephano, because these areas could be a great candidate for drops, but with the creep spread there, it's going to be difficult for Lucifron to get away with any sneaky drops. So, Stephano wants to be extra precautious in his main. I think that's a good move. Maybe a little bit more creep spread here might be helpful as well. Now, the Hellions are rerouting themselves, trying to get over to that third base, but we have a lone roach protecting that entranceway, so those Hellions are going to have to retreat in the meanwhile. Now, Lucifron is going to pick up and lift this third orbital. And I'm kind of surprised that Stephano doesn't have an Overlord here spreading creep or a Zergling. That can really delay those extra minerals for quite a bit for such a low price. Now, those Hellions are coming back in here into the third, able to get 1 kill. And the Hellion is going to be able to run away and fight another day. So those Hellions are paying for themselves, just poking and harassing once in a while that drone line. And now that orbital command has been landed, and we see the mules coming down from the sky. And in fact, Stephano's Overlord is too far to the left. He can't actually see it. Now, he does see SEV, so that should give him an idea what's going on here. Now, the creep spread from Stephano in this game has been a lot better, but he's still down by about 20 supply. He's about 30% of the way to Lucifron's base. But it looks like Lucifron is getting ready for a very important drop, the first one of the game. And this can either spell the victory or the defeat of either player. Now, Lucifron is going to drop into this area, but the creep tumor is here, so Stephano does know exactly what is going on. The roaches are coming up the ramp. They're firing on these Marines. Now, remember, once again, these Marines have been put into the medevacs immediately, and I said this before, if you don't have any anti-air, these medevacs can just choose to decide exactly when to engage and when to disengage. And that's a huge problem for our Zerg player, because you don't want the other player dictating when all the encounters occur. And that's what's happening, and that's what happened in the first game. So Stephano needs to figure out a way to stop all these annoying attacks. The scan does go down, able to clean up 6 creep tumors with 1 scan. So Lucifron is not skimping on anything. He's doing a very good job cleaning up all these creep tumors. And now, the same old story. Lucifron is going to pick up and dart away again. Now, we do have Hydralisk, so Stephano has adapted his army composition. Now, we have another hidden attack force of Marines to the right. They're going to be able to destroy a lot of these Hydralisks. And once again, Lucifron is going to pick up and jet away. Lucifron is moving ahead. He's cleaned up so many of these creep tumors that there basically are no creep tumors past this ramp. So Lucifron has done a very good job on cleanup duty, cleaning up all that creep. And once again, Lucifron is just not letting up. Even with the Hydralisk in the composition, the medevacs are not taking a lot of damage. And Lucifron is microing very well on both sides of the map. Now, what we do have for Stephano is his 2-2 is almost complete. And 2-2 has just started for our Terran players, so Stephano's going to have an upgrade badge. But it looks like the Evolution Chamber is going to go down. It's not going to finish the +2 missiles, so I spoke a bit too soon. +2 Carapace will finish. Now the Hydralisks are able to pick off one of those medevacs. And Stephano is getting really tired of being harassed, so it looks like he's trying to go for attack at the natural, but Lucifron does have 2 siege tanks on the high ground, and this is going to force Stephano back. He does have the supply advantage and the upgrade advantage as well. He has restarted his +2 missile attacks, but that's a huge pick off by Lucifron, able to destroy that evolution chamber. Now, we do have another drop at the third base. The 3 Marines are just doing so much damage to this drone line. And even if they don't kill that many drones, Stephano is paying attention to this side of the map, which means he can't micro somewhere else. And he's also losing mining time as well. So, Lucifron is doing a very good job dropping all these units everywhere. And now it looks like we got 3 more full life medevacs, and they're about to drop into the main, and Stephano's army's in the middle of the map. This is going to be a difficult position for Stephano. Is he going to come back and try to deal with these medevacs, and the medevacs will probably just boost away, or will he go for a base trade? Looks like his units are coming back, but he is going to lose his lair, and that's a big loss for Stephano. And these medevacs take barely any damage. That's not very much consolation for our Zerg player. And without that lair, oh, this is going to be a tough road to get back on, to even out the series, because now he has to upgrade a hatchery into a lair, which he is doing at his natural, and then he has to upgrade that lair into a hive. That's a lot of time and a lot of resources, and we already have +3 weapons on the way for Lucifron. So now Stephano, once again, he was ahead in upgrades, but now he's behind. Now he switched over to Swarm Hosts, and Swarm Hosts can be very effective against Terran players, but he has to survive this upcoming attack. And remember, Lucifron's been on this third base for quite a while, and Stephano has not been able to get his 4th. And as Zerg players, you always want one more base than your opponent. And it looks like with all these siege tanks hiding behind these rocks, I don't know how effective these locusts are going to be. Now, we do have a flank by Stephano. The siege tanks are firing down all their artillery shots. The roaches are getting in there. But all the roaches have been destroyed. The Hydralisks are now doing a lot of DPS, but unfortunately the Marines are being healed up by these medevacs very nicely. And now that entire army has been cleaned up. Stephano's down by 50 supply, and now these locusts do not stand a chance against this huge Terran bio plus tank push. We've got 6 tanks here, and this third base is going to be cleaned up. That spine crawler is a big crater in the ground now. And we have a huge army. Constant reinforcements from Lucifron. And the tanks are even being lifted away by Lucifron, so even though he's ahead by a lot, he doesn't want to lose units for nothing. This third base is still under bombardment. The main base also has a drop as well. The Marines are picking away at all the drones, only a lone queen to defend, and pop goes the queen. The third base has also been destroyed, and Stephano just has to tap out. He says, congratulations, you deserve it. Sorry for the fans. Well, this game is not for me anymore. Goodbye. And Stephano is going to tap out. And wow, a very a very intense way of saying goodbye. This game is not for me anymore. Obviously, Stephano is still a high-level player, but maybe he's just not as good as he was half a year ago or a year ago. But still, very entertaining set of games. So, a message to Stephano from me. You don't have to apologize. I still enjoyed the game, even though you're not the victor. Lucifron played really well. I thought Stephano might have been able to come back with those Hydralisks, but then after that 3 medevac drop went undetected, and all those Marines and Marauders were just wreaking havoc, and once that lair went down, it was over from there. There was no way to recover from that point in time. So, good games by both players, and I have to wish Stephano good luck in his studies. Hopefully he can become a programmer of games, and maybe he can help out with Starcraft 3 or something like that, or he becomes a doctor, whatever he wants to do. So good job by Lucifron, and best wishes to Stephano, and I will see you guys next time.